If you're happy with the same old ways of dating,
if you enjoy sucking at communication,
and you have no desire to improve your romantic life, then our podcast might not be for you.
But if you want some out-of-the-box ideas to deepen your current relationships,
broaden your sexual horizons,
develop a better understanding of yourself,
or learn more about non-monogamy,
then you've come to the right place. I'm Jase.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Dedeker.
And this is the Multiamory podcast. On this episode of the Multiamory podcast, we are wishing you a happy Poly Days, Part 2, this time it's personal, where we're going to be sharing some of our personal holiday stories with you, as well as playing some fun games such as Two Truths and a Lie, Bible Edition with Emily, and also talking about some practical things about introducing your partners and your family to each other.
The people weren't expecting, when they fired up the Multiamory podcast all about alternative relationships, that they'd be getting some Bible trivia.
No, but you will be.
Hell,
Here it
I
is,
didn't
folks.
expect it.
Yes.
I don't even know if it's going to be real Bible trivia, but here we are.
Yeah, well, 2 out of every 3 is going to be true, and 1 is going to be a lie. But we'll get to that later.
Depending on your definition of true, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah.
Multi-theology with Dedeker, Winston.
That's some deep shit right there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. Yeah, let's hop into this. So the holidays, or the Poly Days, or whatever it is you want to call it. Just to be honest with all you listeners, we're all kind of on edge because we've all been like fighting with our significant others, sometimes multiple significant others.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And it's not fun. It's really not fun. And that kind of got us started on this discussion about the holiday times in general. About how, yes, there's this whole cultural narrative about how this time is supposed to be really happy and warm and
it's
bright.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And comfort and joy, all those tidings of comfort and joy. When in reality, like, people are so stressed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, do you want to go, Emily?
No, just for me, especially, I work 2 jobs, and I just added another job, which is caroling for the holidays onto it, and that, takes up every single weekend, and then I work during the week, so basically I work 7 days a week during the holidays.
That doesn't just fill you with Christmas cheer, though, every time you carol?
I know, you're in, the most Christmassy job ever, you're caroling.
I know,
I love
caroling.
Not all the Christmas tidings of peace and goodwill towards men not balance out?
Wow, Dedeker,
you have
you're
no
doing
life
well.
outside of it.
God, Christian people must know all the lyrics to all the Christmas songs. Yeah, but no, it's nice because I have a lot going on, and therefore we don't have a lot of time to spend with our loved ones. So that's challenging sometimes because you have to work in order to afford all those gifts for people.
Yeah,
that whole thing, and especially if you are poly and you have to buy gifts for multiple people.
Yeah,
meaningful gifts for multiple people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just earlier today, actually, I had an appointment with my chiropractor, who's amazing. Also, Emily's chiropractor.
Yeah, he is.
Miracle worker. But it had been a while since I'd been, and I was, came in. He's like, "How you been doing?" I'm like, "Well, things feel a little bit out of place. I've been kind of getting these headaches, and I feel really tight or whatever." And so he went in and started cracking things and adjusting things and whatever, and just kind of right away he's like, "Yeah, you're real tense." And he's like, "I've been actually seeing a lot of this lately with the holidays coming up. A lot of people are very stressed, and a lot of people are not drinking enough water because it's wintertime, and you don't think about drinking water as much in the wintertime as you do in the summer." But just, and it kind of, when he said that, it sort of clarified something I'd been sort of realizing for a little while, which was just that this past, I don't want to say a whole month, but since a little bit before Thanksgiving, I have just felt this kind of tension across my shoulders of just this and it's not about something specific. I'm not worried about some specific family thing. I'm not specifically worried about something with a partner or something, but there's just this sense of stress, and I don't know if it's something that I'm picking up off of like
I was gonna say,
the world?
It feels like
Or-
it's kind of the same way that like when the holidays hit in all their splendor, in all their crazy commercial splendor, like you can't escape it. Like you cannot escape it. It does not matter like what holiday it is that you celebrate, or if you celebrate the holidays at all. Like you just cannot escape it. Like
It's
I'm here,
there in
like
all
I'm
its
here in
glory.
Istanbul right now, and this is a Muslim country. Like Christmas is not really a huge thing. However, there are Christmas decorations everywhere.
Really?
And the justification is like, well, it's leading up to New Year's because that is the big holiday.
Right.
But it's like even over here, I can't escape the Christmassiness, even in like a freaking Muslim country.
Yeah, wow.
And so I don't know, like maybe that's part of it. Like maybe there is something about osmosis where it's like even if you're heading into the holidays like feeling pretty good, like I got enough money for gifts and like I'm on good relationships, you know, with my family. I got my plans all set. It's all going to be great. But there's still this like collective angst around the holidays that I think is actually really hard to escape from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
I
you
would agree
are
with that.
actually single during this time, it's super hard because the holidays are often so much about like being with family and being with loved ones. And if you're single, then maybe you're not going to be experiencing that, which I think we'll kind of get into. But sometimes if you're with someone but not able to spend the holidays with them, that also can be like a really challenging thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's related to what we're talking about, where there's, like, I know that in monogamous relationships, there's still that thing of, like, oh, it's the holidays. Are we both going to go to one family or another? Are we going to go to our own families?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do, right? And that's definitely come up for me in, like, pretty much all of my serious monogamous relationships in the past.
For sure.
And with polyamory, it's kind of that... Again, like it's the same thing again. Sometimes
It's always the negotiation process,
right? Sometimes even more so about just kind of what are you going to do? Like for example, to make it personal, we did promise to be personal in this episode.
Yeah.
I get to see Dedeker this week for a week, and then she's going up to spend the actual Christmas and New Year's with her family, with her mom. And so we were talking already about, like, okay, well, when are we going to do our Christmas? Like, what's that going to be like? What are going to be the events in that? And luckily for us, one of those events is going to see Emily carol at Disneyland. So it's going to be...
So we're going to profit off of
be
Emily's...
awesome.
Emily's is being forced to
suffering.
bring us the Christmas spirit.
I am happy to do that to both of you.
Right, but like
Please.
we're excited about that, but it is like we're not spending Christmas together, we're not spending New Year's. Like, right, my New Year's kiss is not going to be Dedeker, right?
Aw,
so that is a thing that we're kind of trying to plan around and plan other events so that we feel like we've done something special during the holidays, even if we're not spending those actual days together.
Yeah.
I think my New Year's kiss is going to be my mom.
I think because you guys will be at a meditation
I'm going to be on a
retreat.
meditation retreat. Yeah, I'm going to be totally off the grid in silence on New Year's.
Wow.
And like I'm not going to grab a nun.
Although,
Although
That would be pretty hot.
maybe it could be
though,
magical.
yeah.
I don't know if hot is the word for it. I don't know if hot is the word for it.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know. You haven't seen the nuns at this monastery yet, so who knows?
You're right. Good
Well,
point.
actually, I have been on retreats with these nuns before.
Okay.
So
Well, okay. Never mind.
I don't know. Anytime I've been on retreat, they're not particularly sexual retreats. So
Right. That doesn't seem like the Buddhist thing, really.
no, not really. Anyway, let's get back to the holidays, shall we?
Yes. Let's talk about that. All right. So, right, like the holidays are filled with this emotional intensity, right? There's just sort of figuring out your travel plans for the holidays, which partners you're going to spend time with. We talked about that a little bit more last year in our Happy Poly Days episode, if you want to go back and check that out. But there's the stress of buying gifts for everyone. Speaking for myself, because I still need to do that. Right? There's the gift buying stress. There's dealing with your family, if that's not like the easiest of things. I know a lot of my friends and loved ones, like being with your family is not like this relaxing, warm Norman Rockwell thing, right? It's a little stressful. You might love your family, but it's still a little stressful because it's not your life. It's like this other life you have with your family.
There's also a lot of like I mean, there's also just the fact that there's so much tradition surrounding the holidays, and that can be good tradition or bad tradition. As in, it could be like, our tradition is like we have to have X number of family members at the table for dinner, and like if you're late or if you want to bring someone, like I'm going to be super stressed out about it, and I'm like I'm your mother and I'm going to emotionally blackmail you. This is
are
not.
You speaking from experience
No,
here?
I am not. I was just about to give the disclaimer. I am not speaking from experience. I promise. That was totally an abstract example. My mother's actually quite gracious around the holidays. But it could be something of like the tradition of is that whenever I'm with my family, the holidays have always sucked. So that's how it is every year, and that's what I'm expecting. You know, even though that's not like an established tradition, but that's just like what the trend has been.
Right.
So it's kind of like. Yeah, it's just the fact that there's so much history and so much personal history that you have to revisit every single year.
Yeah,
that of course it's going to bring up some kind of angst.
Yeah.
Well, and so what the three of us, like we were saying earlier, have been finding is that this has led to some stress with our partners. You know, maybe a little bit with each other, although actually that hasn't been so bad this year. But you know, with our other partners.
You mean like between the three of us?
Between the three of us, yeah. But like with each of our...
we ain't fighting. I mean, we like squabble at each other pretty much at every single meeting.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Because,
so maybe we're just used
but that's just
to
because we love
always...
each other.
Yeah. We're so used to that level of arguing and squabbling that we don't even notice. But with our other partners, we do. Because there's those stresses about the holidays, and it's even if it's not something specific, like I was saying with my visit to the chiropractor, it's not like something specific I'm stressed about. There's just this general sense of being a little bit tense, being a little bit stressed, being a little bit kind of holding it together really hard in that tensing
Jase,
those muscles.
You were saying that statistically a lot of relationships end like in January, February.
Sorry,
well,
sorry everybody.
Christmas
this is
and
like
Valentine's Day.
bad prediction here, but
true?
but between Christmas and Valentine's Day is the sort of statistically the most common time to break up.
Is it because of like how nasty you've been to each other over the holidays?
Well, it's one of those things
know.
with I remember I learned about this statistic like 10 years ago or something, and I don't remember where it was from, so please go like verify this for yourself. But there wasn't, with stuff like this, there's a correlation. We don't know what the causation is, right? We can make guesses about like, well, maybe some people want to break up, but they don't want to do it before the holidays, so they wait. But they don't want to have to do Valentine's Day, so they break up before that. Or, maybe it is the stress of the holidays. We were saying, like, maybe you're just, like, such a jerks to each other during the holidays that it's like, well, this isn't going to work out. Or maybe it's that thing of, like, you spend time with your family. And I know for some of my friends, this is more of a thing than others. But some people, they'll spend time with their families and come away from that being like, well, my current relationship doesn't look like my mom and dad do, so it must not be the one. Again, I'm kind of speaking more about my more monogamously minded friends. But, right, like, those are all they're all factors there, right? Whatever it is. Or maybe, like, they got along terribly with my family, what am I doing? Right, there's a whole lot of options for what could lead to that. I'm not sure. Here's an interesting thing that I would like to find out, though, is if this statistic holds true for poly relationships or if this is only true for monogamous relationships. Because I do feel like poly relationships have sort of different... how do I say this? Like, breakups are very different.
Well, and there's a little more fluidity, like a little more understanding between time constraints.
There's
hopefully
some more middle grounds. That,
ideally.
Yeah. So, anyway, I would be curious to see, like, how these statistics stacked up in poly relationships. Unfortunately, once again, not a ton of research about that. Although, that actually, speaking of poly researchers, that does bring us to our friend, Dr. Elizabeth Sheff.
Yes, indeed.
Or Eli Sheff, as she likes to be called. And this is about when you're going to be home for the holidays. And you're going to see your family. There could be this temptation to say, you know what? Maybe this Christmas I'm going to come out to my family about being poly. And I guess we'd like to suggest maybe don't do that. And this is some advice that we got from Eli Sheff like a year and a half ago or something when we were talking with her. And she, for those of you who don't know, Eli Sheff is a researcher who is not poly herself, or like doesn't identify as poly herself, but has been and is fascinated with polyamory and studies it professionally, like as a scientist. And so she's got a lot of really useful info about that. She works as an expert witness, like on child custody cases and stuff like that, for people fighting for custody of their children. She'll come in to kind of be this expert witness about, like, hey, this is what polyamory is, and you can trust me because I'm not someone who's poly necessarily, right? Like, there's a certain validity to that. But anyway, this is something that she talked about, is that idea of, like, holidays and other people's weddings are maybe not the time to come out.
Yeah.
Well, it's anything where the day is about something that is not you.
Right.
Yeah,
basically.
that's probably not
and
the
that by
thing to
coming
do.
out, you are kind of making it about you.
Well, and again, like, for your parents or whomever, it's definitely also going to be a stressful time, so, like, adding to that stress is probably not the best thing.
That's a great point.
But
that everyone else is stressed like you are.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. It's difficult, though, because, I think what I see a lot of people feeling is, like, if they feel like they want to be able to bring a different partner home for the holidays, or two partners home for the holidays, or they want to go to a different partner's family for the holidays, and having to explain that you get into the situation of, like, well, shoot, how do I pull this off but not lie about it? And I mean, I guess the best suggestion I would give would be to be able to try to come out before that is the situation.
Right.
Ideally you're thinking about this ahead of time, about like, oh, like, actually I think I want to bring this other partner back home. So that means I'm going to have to kind of be open about who this other partner is. Ideally, that talk happens.
This episode is coming out on December 20th. Might be a little too late for that right now. But just something to think about. Like, if there's a way to not maybe wait. Because we've talked about before, this, like, coming out is something you want to take time with.
Yeah.
And that the holidays, like, we're saying,
it's going to take time. It's not going to be one conversation and then done.
Exactly. It's an ongoing conversation, and it might be nice to do that. Perhaps, let me just throw this out here. What if coming out could be like a New Year's resolution kind of thing? Like, I'm going to resolve that.
You kind of make your plan for coming out.
Right.
And that's part of your New Year's.
Right. Rather than doing it at the holidays, say, like, during this year, say, like, over the next 3 months, like, I'm going to come out to all of my family and, like, realize there's going to be that time. If you've decided that
idea.
Coming out is the right choice for you, and that you're in a safe place to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Big caveat there. Anyway, just a thought.
Yeah.
I'm into that. Man, I haven't brought anybody home for the holidays in, like, centuries, I feel.
I went home with Josh's family last year, and that was good.
Yeah?
But that was more like, just very normal.
The
normal circumstances.
I mean, I haven't been home for the holidays myself in, like, 3 years.
Yeah, I'm this year I'm caroling both on the 24th and the 25th, so the actual day is, like, I'm not going to be even in this house, so that's kind of stressful.
Yeah. I'm not going to be home for the holidays either. I'm staying here. Going to do sort of friends Christmasing, Friendsmas.
Sweet.
Some Friendsmas.
That'll be cool.
Friendsmas will be good.
Yeah.
Hang on. I have a question, though, because, like, yes, as we said at the beginning of this, that, we're told that the holidays are all warm and magical and light and good and positive. I mean, was that just because, like, that was the impression we got as children? Is because when you're a kid, like, it is freaking awesome. Like, everyone's shoving sugar down your throat and giving you presents.
Yeah, and you get to, like, be off of school. It's fucking
exactly. And
great.
you're off of school, and like, is that why?
Yeah. I will say I'm super stoked about holiday from work, which I actually get this year, and I haven't gotten in years before. So, like, that part I am excited to get to have. Yes,
for sure.
And I have to say, I'm excited to go home to my family for the holidays because of the fact that I have a niece and nephew who are 7 and 5. They're still of Santa believing age.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
lovely.
like vicariously through them, I get to try to recapture the magic of Christmas from my own childhood. Which maybe is healthy, maybe it's not healthy. I don't know.
I don't know.
That'll be lovely.
I don't know either. But Dedeker, please promise me, if your little cousin sings any more songs and plays her little guitar, send that shit to me, because that was fucking adorable. I still think about that song, and that was from like 2 years ago.
So about her song to the cat?
Her song to the cat. It was so good. Anyway, yes, please share those things with me.
Okay.
But let's can we try to get a little bit personal about the holidays?
Even more personal? Even more personal?
Even more personal.
What you got?
What do you want to... What?
Come on. I'm going to be like Monique here. Well, come on.
You did say that you wished you could do that.
I wanted to be able to do that, so come on.
Yeah. Well, I guess so like our next topic we wanted to talk about is introducing family members to partners. I haven't like used the holidays as a way to introduce a new partner. But I do think we all have experience bringing partners, since being poly, bringing partners home to meet our family or meeting our partner's family. Right. And I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about that for a second, because that, for a lot of people, I think, is sort of a terrifyingly stressful situation of not only the idea of meeting someone else's parents, but having your parents meet your partner, right? And I guess this might be a little controversial. You guys can feel free to argue with me if you want.
Okay.
I feel like if your partner is meeting your family for the first time and you're not a little terrified, I think you should rethink it a little bit.
Like if you yourself are not a little bit terrified about your partner meeting your family.
Right. If you're like, whatever, my family's great, everything's fine, my partner should chill, maybe rethink that a little bit, because there's a lot of factors here, and I think that some people can kind of romanticize their own families a little bit.
Of course. Yeah.
Kind of think of them as a little infallible.
And
so just to kind of go in and be like, I guess I'm trying not to be like super negative about this, and I don't know why this is where I'm going right now.
I feel like my impulse is to try to like combat that with positivity, of trying to be like, yeah, I get that, but you don't want to just project like that things are going to be terrible, because families, like horses, can smell fear.
Right. Okay. Yes, they can smell fear and blood. They are like sharks as well as horses. They're like shorses.
That was the worst mixed metaphor you've ever fucking made.
Mixed metaphor. Now there's an interesting concept.
Okay, bring it back on. Come on.
Okay.
Bring it back.
Yeah. What I'm saying is not to go in thinking like, oh, this is going to be terrible, because like you're going to make it terrible if you go in expecting that. But what I mean is to just, if you feel like you're going to go in and you don't need to kind of help prepare your partner for that, or prepare your family for that. Like, I know both in my own experiences and also in, experiences of friends and other partners, like you can bring someone home and you might be worried about them making a good impression on your family, and then your family's the one that doesn't make a good impression on them.
Sure.
Because you didn't take that time to be like, hey, family, this person's important. Like, here's some ways like, that you can...
don't be a dick.
Well, not just don't be a dick, but, like, here's some things about them you should know that will help you to, like, start a conversation and help them feel included. Or, I suppose, based on some more recent experiences that I've had, to even say, hey, family or friends, this is a person who's important to me, and they're really not comfortable in social situations, so maybe don't try to make small talk with them, right? Like one partner, if you don't try to make small talk with them, would be terrible, and another one, that might be what they want. But you know what I mean? This is like what you can do to help sort of facilitate that.
Yeah.
Is kind of trying to...
I do things like that. like just tell people like, just so you know, this person is just like really quiet and really shy. So like,
Doesn't mean
So
that
it's not
they're an
personal.
asshole.
Yeah.
don't be offended. Yeah, don't
Right.
think that like they don't like you or anything like that.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
things like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Are we ready for this, guys?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god. Okay, so can I just give a little preamble?
Oh god! Oh god!
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, can we explain what Two Truths and a Lie is, just in case not everyone knows this game?
Okay, first I'll explain the game, then I'll explain the specific premise of our game.
Yes.
So the game, Two Truths and a Lie, pretty straightforward, is that you tell someone 3 facts or 3 snippets or 3 anecdotes. 2 of them are truthful and 1 of them is not truthful. 1 of them is made up. And the person has to guess which one
Is the lie.
is the lie. So now, we're playing Bible Edition for a couple of reasons.
It's Christmas.
One of them being that it's Christmas. Another of them being that Jase and I were raised Christian. We don't identify as Christian anymore. However, we do have a lot of collective nostalgia / PTSD surrounding our Christian upbringing. Emily, on the other hand, was not brought up Christian. Emily was brought up, straight up atheist?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just like blissfully atheist?
Yeah. It was like,
and-
yeah, no.
We noticed this phenomenon that if Jase and I made any references from the Bible, you know, we'd usually have to explain it to Emily. But then we started realizing, like, we can make up anything because the Bible has some crazy shit in it. And you really maybe wouldn't be able to know what is actually from the Bible and what is just something that we made up. So that's what we're bringing to you guys today, mostly for our own entertainment, but hopefully it's a little bit entertaining to you guys as well. The Bible edition of Two Truths and a Lie, starring Emily as the victim.
There will be 3 rounds.
Okay.
Is there like a prize if she gets?
Oh. Yeah. we didn't
You
talk
guys
about
are gonna have to
did
figure
we?
that out because I think I deserve a prize. I think I
Yeah.
deserve a prize.
That would be pretty good.
I mean, okay, I think if she loses, then like when
Okay.
we go see her sing Christmas carols,
I have to buy you a round of drinks.
if she loses,
Okay.
okay.
Otherwise, I have to buy both of you a drink.
Okay.
And then if I win, then you buy me a drink. Which you
Hopefully
should buy
some
me
kind of holiday
anyways.
Yeah, we'll buy you that
Some
anyway.
kind of-
You're caroling
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us.
So like, so an extra drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, what would... There's got to be something better than that. I don't know. Okay, maybe... How about this? How about those of you listening, depending how this goes, tweet at us, at Multiamory, send us a message on Facebook, or if you're already in the invite-only Patreon group, put a message in there. We'll talk about what we think either Emily should win or we should win for the outcome of this game.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm so nervous.
Okay.
Let's
All
do
right.
this.
Okay, you ready for
Okay.
round 1?
Round
Yeah.
1. Ding, ding.
So, round 1 has to do specifically, with the events surrounding the birth of Christ.
And do you want to
Okay.
alternate,
So-
Deds? Is that the plan? Do you want to alternate things?
Sure.
Yeah?
Okay.
Does that work?
Okay, so,
Can I start?
yeah, go ahead.
Is that first? Okay. All right. Here's round 1. Thing number 1. Joseph, the husband of Mary, was planning to divorce Mary once he learned that she was pregnant and it wasn't his. But an angel came to him in his sleep and told him not to do that. That's thing number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Thing number 2. So, not as well known, Mary had a cousin named Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth was much older. She was an older lady. However, an angel came to Elizabeth and told her that she was going to have a baby. Emily's already crying. Don't cry, Emily. It's okay.
Oh my God, this is
It's
so
okay.
hard.
Listen to the
okay.
rest of the story.
Okay.
Okay, so an angel comes to Mary's cousin Elizabeth and says, you're going to have a baby.
Okay.
Now, an angel also comes to Elizabeth's husband, Zechariah, and says, hey, your wife is going to have a baby. And Zechariah's like, are you kidding me? My wife is old as shit. There's no way she's going to have a baby.
Okay.
To punish Zechariah for disbelieving, he was struck with madness, and he had to wander in the wilderness like an animal until his baby was born, who grew up to be John the Baptist.
Okay.
So that's thing number 2.
Okay.
All right, and now thing number 3 is that it is not actually clear how many wise men or kings there were that came to visit the little baby Jesus.
Yeah, even though the song is like "We Three Kings,"
We Three
Right.
Kings
actually
of
don't
Orient.
know.
Right. But all we do know is that there were 3 gifts. that the gifts were frankincense, gold, and Emily? Myrrh.
We three kings of Orient
Okay, so frankincense,
gifts. We traverse so far, field and fountain, moor and mountain, wandering yonder star.
Yeah,
oh.
No, okay. Frankincense, gold, and myrrh were the 3 gifts, but we do not actually know how many kings or wise men there were.
Yeah.
Okay, those are the 3 things. Which one
Okay,
of those
so just
3
to recap,
is the lie?
To do a
Yeah.
quick recap, it's that Joseph was going to divorce Mary once he learned that she was
but
pregnant with
then
a baby
an
that wasn't his,
angel-
but an angel told him not to. Second one, that Mary's cousin Elizabeth was going to have a baby. Her husband didn't believe it, and so he was punished by the angel struck him with madness, and he had to wander around until his baby was born.
Okay.
Third one being that we don't know the actual number of wise men. Could have been 2, could have been 200. We just know that there were 3 gifts.
Oh my god. This is super, super hard.
For those of you playing along at home, tweet your answers in now.
I think that the middle one is true because I've heard of maybe a Zachariah before and mad things and old bitches bearing babies. The divorce thing at the beginning, I was like, I don't know, maybe, but like divorce, was that a thing back in like BC and shit? Who the fuck knows? And then, like the last one, I mean, why would they say we 3 kings if there weren't 3? Right? I think that is a lie.
So to confirm, is that your final answer?
Is that,
I
is that
think
your final
so.
answer?
Yeah?
I'm sorry, Emily, you're not correct.
What was the right one?
The lie was actually the second one.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, here's how we got you. There are truths in it. Mary did have a cousin Elizabeth, who was an older woman, who did have a baby at an older age, and the angels told her that, and they visited her husband. The difference is that they struck him mute, not mad. So he didn't wander in the wilderness, but he instead was not able to speak until his son.
That
Okay.
did happen. In the Old Testament, that happened to King Nebuchadnezzar, that he was struck with madness and had to wander in the wilderness.
This was kind of a
So I
mashup.
just
just kind of mixed.
I just
did
needed
a Bible
to know.
mashup.
Yeah.
I needed to
Yeah.
know the difference. Like, I
I
would
know,
have
I know.
never known
That was a hard one. It was a hard one. I know.
It's a hard one.
I know.
It's a hard
Okay.
one. But yes, no,
Okay.
Joseph was... The Bible says Joseph was planning to quietly divorce Mary.
What a dick.
But then he didn't. He was a good guy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Good job, Joe. Good job, Joey boy.
Okay, you ready for round 2?
Next one. Yes, I'm
Okay.
so ready. I'm
Round
not
2.
ready, but I'm so ready.
Round 2. Here we go.
Okay.
I'll do
Okay.
this first one. Yeah?
Okay, so this one's like the personal edition of
Yeah.
Christmas trivia.
This one's personal. This is about me and Dedeker. This is not actually about Jesus. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Number
Oh,
1.
God.
Thing number 1. Dedeker has played the Virgin Mary in a Christmas play twice. Once at the age of 5, and again at the age of 14.
How could she not look at her?
Right?
So virginal.
Yeah.
Little did they know what she would turn into.
Mary, did you know?
Mary, did you know? Okay, go ahead, Dedeker.
Okay.
Okay, so thing number 2. Jase's very first acting role was playing Jesus, the baby Jesus, in a nativity play. And follow-up trivia, he pooped in his diaper while playing that role.
I really hope that happened. Okay.
All right, thing number 3. The Dedeker and Jase went to a Christmas Eve service in Japan and watched an actual submersion baptism where they put someone completely underwater as a baptism.
Can you baptize people on Christmas Eve?
I think you can baptize people whenever you like.
Baptize them whenever you want.
Okay.
Whenever the Spirit leads them.
Okay. I'm gonna go with... God. I think number 2, Jase pooping his pants and stuff, is probably not true. But honestly, it might be. I'm gonna say 2.
That was the truth.
I think
You're
number 2
wrong.
is the
I'm
lie.
sorry.
What?
My first acting role was playing baby Jesus in a nativity play. My mom and dad were Mary and Joseph, and I did poop in my diaper during the play, and they couldn't
so
change
glad
me
that you
because
did.
it was during the
You're on
You were
stage.
Jesus. Oh, wow. Which one was the lie?
The lie is about the Christmas Eve service. We did go to a Christmas Eve service in Japan.
That's what I thought.
But there was not
However,
an actual submersion baptism. You were so close with suspecting that.
Yeah, you were very close.
Oh,
you were very close.
Damn it.
Baptisms are generally
that?
not a Christmas Eve thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's allowed. I'm sure if you really wanted to.
I guess.
But
they'd be like, we've got some other
maybe a
shit
little
going
weird.
on right
But
now.
they'd probably be
kind
like...
of that whole same phenomenon of like making the day about yourself when it's not about yourself.
Right. That would be a little
exactly.
weird. Yeah. Unless it was like they were doing a play where they were reenacting John the Baptist baptizing Jesus, maybe.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a whole other thing. Okay. Are you ready for round 3?
Oh my god, I'm owing you guys drinks now, so fuck. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Deds, take it away.
Okay, so Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus fled to Egypt after baby Jesus was born, obviously. But the reason they fled to Egypt is because they learned that King Herod, who was the king of the Jews at that time, was going to enact a law that he was going to start rationing food to Jerusalem. It was handed down from the Romans. So Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus were like, no, fuck that. We're going to Egypt where there's no food rationing. Okay, that's thing number 1.
Okay. Thing number 2 is that at one point during Jesus' life, he was up on a hilltop and Satan was trying to tempt him to sort of defy God or go against his teachings. And at one point, Satan dared Jesus to jump off the cliff and to prove that he was immortal and wouldn't die.
What?
He was like, Jesus, dare you to do some base jumping without a parachute right now and not die.
Oh my god, did he do it?
No, Jesus was... No, because this is Satan tempting Jesus, right? So Jesus is like, no, brah, I'm Jesus. I don't need to prove myself to you. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, last thing. Also, during Jesus' heyday, you know, when he was the most popular, his friend Lazarus died.
Okay.
Lazarus was dead for 4 days. For 4 days.
Yep.
And Jesus was so sad about it that he went and brought him back to life after being dead for 4 days.
Like out of the grave, like raised him up.
Like out of the grave, yeah. Those are your things.
What?
Do you need a recap of the things?
Something about devils
So the first
and
one...
jumping off of cliffs.
Yes.
And fleeing to Egypt because of food rations.
Right.
And You Raise Me Up by Josh Groban.
Yep. That was the 4th bonus thing. You got it.
That was the 4th bonus thing.
Bonus point.
Oh my god, you guys, how does anyone get this? I mean, I'm a good memorizer, but God.
I want to know how our listeners at home are doing. Please send us your scores.
I'm sure they're doing
at the
great.
End of this.
Not me, Miss Atheist Lady.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's think about this. Because King Herod was in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar.
Well
and,
done.
you know, I don't remember them ever leaving. And wouldn't King Herod have been, like, super fucking old by the time Jesus Christ Superstar happened if they left as a baby?
It's good to call in your musical theater knowledge.
I know,
That's
I like
all that I
using
got.
musical
That is
theater as
all that I got. And as for, like, the devil and shit and having him jump and stuff, I could see that happening. Like, you know, not really. Obviously, this is a story. But I could see that happening. And as for the last thing, Lazarus, that sounds like a familiar name. I don't know, you guys are sneaky, so it could have been like, oh no, it was 3 days, but 3 days was Jesus. Lazarus, I don't know.
Jesus has the
point.
monopoly on 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it going to be?
God damn it. I'm going to go with number 1 as the lie. Did I get it?
Well done. You got
Oh my
you
god,
got one.
musical theater knowledge.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
so
The
here's-
truth is,
Yeah, go for
they
it.
actually did flee to Egypt when Jesus was a baby, But not because King Herod was enacting a ration, it's because King Herod heard this rumor, like there was this rumor that there was this prophecy that there was going to be a new king of the Jews that had been born, and he could not stand for that, and so he ordered for all of the baby boys in Jerusalem to be killed.
Oh, yeah.
So it's actually a much more
like
horrible,
something
inconceivable
much worse,
thing.
actually, yes.
Okay.
That
they fled to Egypt.
led them to
Okay.
flee to Egypt, yes.
You guys are sneaky sneaks.
We are sneaky sneaks.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that I learned a lot about Jesus and stuff.
And
So-
about Dedeker and my acting careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, the
And-
Virgin Mary at the age of 5, that probably was my first role,
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
recall
There you go.
correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a
I
little bit
can
of an
assure
earlier
you
start
both-
than you.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah,
know,
you did.
I was
You
only
did.
I was
But it
only
kind
a
of
couple
ended
months.
up-
At least, like, I didn't poop myself on stage, though.
I was so nervous. I just shit myself on stage.
I can
So much
assure you
stage
both
fright.
and all of the people who are listening that I have never once been in a nativity play. Never once. Or
Wow.
Maybe we
yeah.
can change that.
There's still time.
Maybe we
Oh,
can
God.
somehow...
There's still time.
There's still time.
Yeah.
I would be like
Maybe
Mary.
we can cobble together a nativity play at the church just for the sake of...
That would be good.
I would be Mary Magdalene, obviously. Because
Mary
I play
Magdalene
so
wasn't really
many
around at the birth
horrors.
of Christ.
Not in the nativity
fuck,
play,
you're
but
right.
you could be
Damn it.
like the angel of the Lord that comes to the wise men and tells them.
And to the shepherds,
Yeah.
like you could definitely
Yeah,
be
yeah.
the angel who comes
Angels
to the
we have
shepherds.
heard on high.
Yeah, you'd be the
Yeah.
angel that we've heard on high,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
singing stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing of Christmas that I know are Christmas carols. Those I know.
Yeah.
Like from Handel's Messiah, like, and the angel said unto them, fear not. And like, does the whole thing about, it's a soprano part. You probably wouldn't sing it, but
No,
It's
I
cool.
definitely wouldn't. Alrighty, well that was wonderful.
Well, that was illuminating.
thank you everybody
Right in the holiday
for
spirit.
joining us for this inaugural round of Two Truths and a Lie. If you have
There
suggestions
will be more.
for future Two Truths and a Lie events that you would like us to do, please send those to info@multiamory.com or tweet those to us at multiamory. Or if you want to be sneaky and send them to just one of us, you can send an
God.
email to Emily@multiamory.com, Jase@multiamory.com, or Dedeker at multiamory.com, and give us some suggestions for some Two Truths and a Lie. And also let us know how you did. We'd love to hear how our listeners did.
I really
in this
wanna
Bible
hear.
trivia.
Yeah, let's hear who else was raised evangelical.
Yes.
I bet so many people got 100%, even who weren't raised that way. I just
Well.
am living in a hole.
We will find out.
No, I don't know. I don't think you are. I think there's a lot of things that Jase and I assume everybody knows just because of our upbringing that
Yeah.
actually like not a lot of people know about.
And we
You might
did
be
make
right.
this a little hard. You're correct. This
And yeah,
was
yeah.
This was not easy. So
It seemed very difficult.
well done. I'm proud of you for getting one though. I was
Thank
worried.
you.
I was worried you were going to get 0 right.
You're like, she's not going to get any of them. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
Well,
Thank you all very much.
happy holidays.
Have a happy poly days.
I'm dreaming
and-
of a white Christmas.
Yes, I'm also dreaming of a white Christmas. And we will see
Not
you.
going to happen in LA.
We will see you next week for the post-Christmas times. And we will be looking forward to starting a new year with all of you whom we love very much. Bye-bye.
See you next week, you guys.
See you next week.